we are almost 1 week into the 2021 Major League Baseball season, and Gleyber Torres is already being talked about as a defensive liability that he needs to be taken out of games if the Yankees are ahead. So we're going to go ahead and break down that situation in just a second because, yeah, the city of New York, they are not happy with their young shortstop. I believe that he can be a superstar offensively, but going forward, yes, he is going to struggle with the glove. But anyways, what's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. A lot to break down today, so we're not going to waste any time with an intro. The only thing that I'll say is if you love baseball, hit that subscribe button because this is the best place to be. Let's go ahead and talk about some injury updates because we have a few substantial ones. Tim Anderson is going to the IL. He has a hamstring injury. In a few moments, we'll talk about Ketel Marte because he also went down with a hammy injury. But Tim Anderson is probably more on the side of precaution than actually being severely injured because he came out and said that he's ready to go, but his hamstring is just not responding well. So look for him to come back in the next 10 days. Mike Soroka, who was on the comeback tour after tearing his Achilles, he is having some shoulder issues. I believe that he has inflammation. He's going to be out for the next 2 weeks before the Braves even think about letting him warm up and throw more pitches. So probably more of a 3-week prognosis. And then last but not least, Ketel Marte. This does not look good, and I'm so sad for him because he was finally looking like prime Ketel Marte again. He did not have the best 2020. We know in 2019 he was an MVP candidate, and he was repeating that 2019 success all over again, and unfortunately his hamstring gave way, and again, it did not look good. Now, I'm no doctor, but when a guy goes down on the ground and needs some help getting back to the dugout after a hammy, it's either just a cramp or he's going to be gone for quite some time. Before we talk about how that Diamondbacks game ended up, I do want to mention that Aaron Judge has been missing some time with a side injury, so while we don't know the severity of it, the fact that he's missing games already this early in the season, that's worrisome. And to make matters worse for Diamondbacks fans, yeah, Madison Bumgarner did not look good yesterday. He gave up 5 earned runs in 5 innings as Chris Owings drove in 2 RBIs and upped his batting average to .500 for the season. Antonio Sensatella, who was very underrated in my opinion, he went 6 shutout innings pitched, and again, just some salt in the wound for Diamondbacks fans. They lose Ketel Marte and then they lose the game. Now, one fan base that can celebrate as if it was 4th of July, the A's, they finally get their first win of the season, and it came against a really good team in the LA Dodgers, and it wasn't easy because Trevor Bauer had 10 strikeouts. He was pumping 97 miles an hour on pitch 101, so he was not lying when he said that his main objective of the offseason was to throw harder. He's doing that, but unfortunately, Kenley Jansen, he has not looked like a superstar closer over the last year, maybe even 2 years. Mitch Moreland comes in clutch in the final innings as the A's avoid going 0-7 to begin the season. I believe that would have been a record for them, and in terms of a homestand, they have never had a worse homestand ever because they were 0-6. They're now 1-6. That's still really bad. Akil Baddoo refuses to stop torching baseballs, and not only is he hitting triples and actually making it look pretty easy, he's throwing out people from left field. I can't wait to see what this kid does, but unfortunately, yet again, it means nothing as his first ever home run came in a loss. His grand slam came in a loss, and now with this triple and outfield assist that meant nothing because the Tigers were still unable to score a few runs as Jorge Polanco came in clutch with a double in the 6th inning. That gave the Twins a 3-2 lead, and they never looked back. So even though Akil Baddoo was raking, it's not really meaning much. On the flip side, Jose Ramirez and his offense meant everything to the Cleveland baseball team as Shane Bieber became the first pitcher ever to have 2 seasons in a row in which he started those first 2 starts of those 2 seasons with 12 strikeouts in each of those starts. So basically 4 consecutive starts in each of the last 2 seasons, he's had 12 plus strikeouts, which has never been done before. But I put out a tweet that Shane Bieber is basically on an island if Jose Ramirez is not raking, and that was proven to be true because Jose Ramirez was raking yesterday. They won the game because every single RBI came from Jose Ramirez. He's going to have yet another MVP season, but again, like I mentioned, Shane Bieber and Jose Ramirez, they're kind of on an island right now. Brandon Woodruff took a no-hitter into the 6th inning, I believe, and Kyle Hendricks was matching him pitch for pitch. This was an amazing matchup, but the Brewers, with the help of Lorenzo Cain, he kind of pulled a Jose Ramirez. He put the entire offense on his back with 2 massive home runs. I do also want to show this Jock Peterson home run because the way that he hit it, he instantly knew that it was gone. He threw the bat, he got his team hyped up, but like I mentioned, Lorenzo Cain was the hero from yesterday's game as both him him and Jose Ramirez, they were single-handedly the reason why their teams won. All right, let's go ahead and break down the Yankees. I'm sure the comment section is going to be a ton of fun. Jameson Taillon, he returned to the mound after going through his second Tommy John surgery. And if you don't remember, he's also had cancer, so he is a true fighter. I believe that the city of New York is going to love this kid. He returns and strikes out 7, but the offense, a lot of people blamed it on the vaccine, that a lot of Yankees players were getting vaccines before the game, and apparently that makes your arms super sore. I don't know if that's true or not. A lot of Yankees fans were saying that was the reason why the offense was so quiet. Cedric Mullins, who is second in base hits, hit an absolute bomb. Anthony Santander with the home run of his own, and then, even though Mike Tauchman came into pinch run for Gary Sanchez, Gio Urshela drove him in, and the game actually got pretty entertaining. Gleyber made an error, and then Anthony Santander was able to turn into Aaron Judge for one single play and throw an absolute seed to nail Gio Urshela, who, can we get a checkup on his face? Because dang, Pedro Severino had no remorse. He just straight up tagged him straight into his forehead. So yeah, the Yankees fan base is not happy with Gleyber Torres, and a lot of other people are not happy with Jay Bruce, but Jay Bruce is not a first baseman. That is not a routine play for a dude playing out of position. Let's stop that. I put out a tweet saying that the Yankees need to stop pretending that Gleyber Torres is going to be some sort of, A-Rod over there at shortstop, because A-Rod played third base, but realistically, he should have been playing shortstop because Derek Jeter was so bad as a defender. Yes, he can make the flashy play every now and then, but even towards the end of his career, he was a liability, and that is exactly what Gleyber Torres is turning into, a liability. It's time to really, face the facts that he is not a good defender. Move him to second, maybe trade for Trevor Story, like I said. This tweet absolutely blew up, and a lot of people agree with me. I love Gleyber Torres offensively. Even though the last 48 games he's been horrible, they're running out of patience. And honestly, for Gleyber, rightfully so. The Boston Red Sox were swept in their first series of 2021 by the Orioles of all teams, and then they sweep the ALCS champions, the Tampa Bay Rays. That's just baseball in a nutshell. Nathan Eovaldi went 7 innings with 1 earned run and 7 strikeouts as Christian Vasquez homers. JD Martinez turns in his 4th straight consecutive multi-RBI game. Nathan Eovaldi now has 2 consecutive quality starts. Look for him to bounce back after a horrific 2020 year. He's most likely not going to be able to sustain a below 2 ERA, but he could be pretty solid. I'm thinking about 3.5, maybe 3.25 ERA for the rest of the year. I'm just going to say this right now. We need to boycott the Pittsburgh Pirates. I really respect the fans on Twitter that are saying, I am going to stick with my team forever, but good God, the Pirates and their management, do they respect you? I don't think so, because they've given up 25 runs in the last 2 games. Luis Castillo was nasty. I understand that. He goes 7 innings, did not allow a single earned run, and honestly, we thought that the Reds offense was going to do this last year. You have Naquin going off again. You have Nick Castellanos hitting another home run. Jonathan India is up to 10 RBIs. Nick Senzel and Tyler Stevenson, they both contributed. All 3 of those guys that I just mentioned, India, Senzel, and Stevenson, they're all below 26 years old, so I truly believe that their core is going to be special going forward. But like I mentioned, I know I tip my cap to you Pirates fans, because they're a horrible team and they're ran by horrible owners. We have our first doubleheader of the season. We had a wild one in game number 1, the Braves versus the Nationals. The Braves do actually take game number 1, and then also in game number 2, a game that was led by Yanoa of the Braves and Steven Strasburg of the Nationals. Guess who was the hero in game number 2? I'm going to let you guys figure it out. If you're a Braves fan, you already know this, but if you're not, Pablo Sandoval, yet again, delivers with a pinch hit home run. Honestly thought that Victor Robles was going to be able to make this catch, but Pablo Sandoval absolutely roped this pitch, and the Braves sweep this doubleheader after starting the season off 0-4, even 0-5, I can't really remember, but good for the Braves. They really needed those W's. The Rangers are getting a W as well, as they get 2 in the second, and the staff never really looked back. Kyle Gibson, he tossed 6 innings, only allowing 1 walk and had 8 strikeouts. Marcus Semien goes yard again. I can't stop talking about the guy. He is really showing that he can be an MVP caliber player yet again. But unfortunately, half of the Blue Jays lineup is in a slump. They really need George Springer back, but I forgot to mention that he is now suffering with a quad injury. That's not good. We have a 1-hitter alert. This came from the Mariners game. Justin Dunn threw a 1-hitter, but he was taken out in the 4th inning. Oh, that's because he had 8 walks before the 5th inning. Luckily for him, the Mariners offense was clicking yesterday as Taylor Trammell starts it. Kyle Seager drives in 3 RBIs, and pretty much within 13 seconds, they put up 7 runs in a single inning. So Justin Dunn, even though he gave up 8 walks, that 1 hit didn't really mean anything. The Mariners offense was really good yesterday, and I tip my cap. I think the Mariners are very exciting, especially considering their top prospects haven't even been called up yet. This is a great start to the season. Alec Bohm, he hit a bomb yesterday. Get it? Like a bomb, but not really because his last name is Bohm. Anyways, he is going to be special. He hits a 3-run home run, and then JT Realmuto comes in with yet another 3-run home run as Rhys Hoskins is also on fire, leading baseball with 6 doubles already. I do want to show this Francisco Lindor web gem because there wasn't really much to talk about from a Mets standpoint. Their bullpen has been it's been a nightmare, and honestly, I'm questioning the managerial decisions. Why would you not start Dominic Smith in game number 1? I know that starting him wouldn't have made the difference, but you cannot, on opening day for the Mets, start Kevin Pillar over Dominic Smith, who was a monster just a season ago. And again, yesterday was an embarrassing game. The Giants were helped out by some defensive miscues from the San Diego Padres. This Padres team is not the same without Fernando Tatis Jr., but even with Fernando Tatis Jr., sometimes you just have to give the benefit of the doubt to the other team, because when Kevin Gausman is on the bump, you probably are going to lose because he has been so disgusting over the last year. He goes 7 innings, only gives up 1 earned run. The Giants get a W in extras. This team, again, does not play the same without Fernando Tatis Jr. It's sad to see. And then last but not least, Jack Flaherty came out angry yesterday after he had a horrible first start, just like Clayton Kershaw. Started off 2021 on a rough note, but then they bounced back in their second start of the year. Pablo Lopez was able to match him pretty much pitch for pitch until Yadier Molina goes yard in the 7th inning. Goldie with the single. You have Dylan Carlson with his 3rd home run of the year. He's up to 9 RBIs. His 3 hits of the season have all been home runs, so he's batting below 200. He's striking out a lot, but he almost has a 900 OPS. Again, that's just baseball in a nutshell. You do not have to be a 350 hitter anymore to be considered good. All right, everyone, well, that does it for today's MLB recap. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you believe in Gleyber Torres, or do you think it's time to give up on him? Without further ado, let's go ahead and end today's video with this day in MLB history, because I would be a fool to not include this. On this day in MLB history, Hank Aaron passed Babe Ruth. Enjoy.
He's sitting on 7-14. Here's the pitch by Downing. Swinging. There's a drive into left center field. That ball is going to be